Rashad, why you didn't
Anyways,
hit me up?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother. Trump lit.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
Good morning. Welcome back to the channel. I make sure I'm good, man. It's first thing in the morning. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is the road to 10K subs. Let's get right into it, bro. That one is done. Let's get right into it. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Someone comment hydration. Hydration. Anyways, let me man. First things first. I have Mac Miller up here first. I wanted to do a whole thing on Mac, bro. Like I wanted to do like a mix or whatever. I didn't get to it yesterday. I'll probably make a mix, but you know, YouTube is so weird with like music. You just don't know when they'll allow you to have it and then just not how do you say, and not just profit off of it versus them just taking it down and striking your channel, and then this is all the stuff and everything like that. So hold on, I'm trying to see if I could pull up something to Mac real quick. But yeah, Mac, dude, he meant a lot, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Like Mac always meant a lot. He was always just a good dude, funny guy. Okay, all right, cool. We could do it like this. Let me see. Give me a second here. I'm pulling it up. He was always a good guy, and it's weird, like the evolution of Mac, because I felt like I grew up with them, and I know there's an entire generation that feel the same thing. Mac was 3 years older than me to the day. We have the same birthday, January 19th. So he was like, how the celebrities, like, or some of y'all might know the celebrities that share the same birthday issue. So yeah, Mac was that for me. He was one of those guys. Also, Junior Seau, rest in peace. And Greg Golden's birthday is like the 20th or something like that. And mine's the 19th. Anyways, yeah, Mac, like I remember when I was first introduced by him, it was Trey. Shouts out to my boy Trey. Trey was on the channel talking about Kristaps Porzingis when he got traded to the Hawks. And, Trey was playing me Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza. And once again, like Tyler, the Creator, when I first heard Yonkers, it reminded me of like an old school hip hop song. And I grew up on old school hip hop with my dad, like Hello Cool J, Big Daddy Kane, Slick Rick, all those guys and stuff. So, and Curtis Blow. So when I heard Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza, I was like, oh dang, this is crazy. It gives me that same feel. Shout out to Laura Finesse as well. And I was just listening to that like crazy. And then I heard Donald Trump, and then I heard Knock Knock, and then I heard all these songs that become like legendary hits and things of that sort from that era, the party era. And then he came out with Best Day Ever, and it was like, it's the best day. Like Best Day Ever is like probably one of my favorite songs ever. I think it's one of the best rap songs ever. And so he had Best Day Ever, he had Party Around the World, he had Wear My Hat, he had all these kind of like party songs in 2011 with Best Day Ever mixtape. And that was kind of him closing the chapter on the party, frat boy Mac Miller era. So then he goes with Blue Side Park, and it's a bit more jazzy. He's trying to make that transition, but it was rough. Blue Side Park, he had the Freak Market and everything like that. It was kind of hit, but they were really forcing it because he had money at that time. So you could tell the label was really pushing that song. I don't know if that's the first time he partnered with the major, because I know he was with the independent labels up there in Pittsburgh and stuff like that. Same people with Wiz Khalifa and everything. Same wheelhouse. But they were really trying to push it. Then they gave him the reality TV. Well, no, not after that. Then he did Watching Movies with the sound off, and he had that album come out the same day that Yeezus came out from Ye, and then Born Sinner came out from J. Cole. And the whole thing was J. Cole versus Yeezy, because J. Cole had the verse on, or he had the line. I think it was either in the freestyle Jodeci's freestyle with Drake before the album came out, or it was in Truly Yours 2, the EP that came out before the album. He said, "I'm gonna drop the same day it's Kanye." Just as I'm fun. No, he actually said that in the song with Kendrick Lamar. Take a little sip, no. Water from the tree. Take a little dip now. And that song was on there. So if you ever wonder about their collaborations, that's one of them. And then another one is Nothing New Under the Sun and everything like that on the Dreamville album that came out like 2019. But he said, "I'm gonna drop the same day as Kanye," and him kind of putting that up, it gave him like that, like, okay, who's gonna outsell? And Yeezus was so controversial, bro. I think like J. Cole won it. If he didn't win in the numbers, he won by the fans' hearts and everything like that. But in the meantime, the third album that a lot of other people loved was Watching Movies with the Sound Off, Mac Miller. And that was his turn of like, I'm going dark, like vulnerable. I'm talking about more than just like, I'm saying partying. I'm talking about the dark side of partying. I'm talking about what comes with all these drugs and all this fun that I'm having and being high all the time. I'm talking about all the dark twists and turns of life. So, Mac, he did that with Watching Movies with the Sound Off. It was jazzy. It was a lot more kind of like technical rapping and things of that sort, as opposed to just catchy hooks. And that was really the turn of his career. 2014 comes, MTV gives him a reality TV show where they're following him at this White House. The White House eventually is rented out by Ray Shremmer down the line. But yeah, Mac Miller's living in this White House in the Hollywood Hills, and it's crazy. The cameras are following him and his team, and he said that they were just doing things just for the TV show, like, because he said he don't do anything but work, but he's doing all these crazy things around the house just for the sake of the TV show. And I think he's doing drugs more than ever at this point. And then he comes out with his darkest project yet, but my favorite project and a lot of other people's favorite project of his, and that's Faces, the 2014 mixtape. And Faces was so good, man. That was at like the peak or the end of the mixtape era, really. 2014 was, and it was that summer he put it out. I remember we were riding to our friends. We were riding to a kickback. We were riding to a kickback in Cobb County, and I never been the type to go out much and stuff like that. But when we went out that night, to someone's house. It was a pretty popular dude's house. His name PK, like KSU legend. Shout out at Kennesaw State. And then so we go out there and we playing him Soundyak and a whole tape, and we going crazy. It was a great tape, bro. Like Therapy. How's it feel? Can you tell me how's it feel? And he had the Drake line. He responded to Kendrick in there from the Control verse. He said, "F Kendrick, you Kendrick?" Like he's laughing at it, but he responded. All the rappers from the Control verse responded to Kendrick, and it was kind of like that was it. All right, moving on to the next thing. This man, Mac Miller, was one of them. Drake, as you guys know how the rest of that played out in history. 12 years later, there becomes or 11 years later, there becomes the biggest back and forth rap beef in the history of rap. But yeah, like everybody else, including Mac Miller on this Faces project, kind of laughed at it and took a jab at it. Rap Diablo was on this project, but like as the time went on, I started to appreciate the entire project and the project in its full, especially after he passed away, because it just hit so much more at that time. And I remember first time hearing Faces, I asked my boy, I was like, "Bro, I'm concerned for Mac Miller." He said, "Oh no, ain't nothing to be worried about with Mac Miller. Like that's just music. Like I'm sure all your favorite artists, have their struggles with drugs." He was just speaking about it in kind of like a deeper way and things of that sort. And I said, "Man, I don't know, bro. I'm a little worried." So that was 2014. He comes out then with Good AM, his next studio album, and that one had 100 grands. It had Weekend with Miguel, a couple big hits. I wasn't the biggest fan of Good AM. I'm not gonna lie. This is when I started to fall off the boat with Mac Miller. And then he came out with the Divine Feminine, and bro, that has one of my favorite Mac Miller songs on it as well, with Cinderella with Ty Dolla $ign. Oh my gosh, bro. And then he had the God Is Fair with Kendrick, another just smash. And that one was written for Ariana Grande. Shout out to Ariana Grande. At the same time, a couple years ago, if we rewind, I think he had his biggest mainstream hit as a feature on Ariana Grande's debut single, The Way. And shouts out to did 7 Streeter write that? Did 7 Streeter write The Way? I think 7 Streeter wrote The Way. Hold on. 7 Streeter. It was 7 Streeter and Jordan Sparks. Let me see The Way. Excuse me. Yeah, Seven. Yeah, Seven wrote it. Yeah, Seven wrote that song. Yeah, I think she wrote The Way. Seven wrote The Way, and she wrote and so did Jordan Sparks, I think. Did Jordan Sparks write it? Hold on. Jordan Sparks, The Way. Yeah, Jordan Sparks also had the song originally. But anyways, regardless, that ended up becoming the biggest hit that Mac Miller was ever featured on. 2013. Fast forward 2015, we did Good AM, we did Divine Feminine. So now it's like he's just taking kind of like a different turn, and he's kind of announced it. And his last album, bro, was just my regrets look all like text I shouldn't send swimming, bro. What a final project to go out on and put it out. Swimming was great. A billion, yeah. Ooh, I got all the time in the world. So for night I'm just chilling. As the night is a beautiful feeling. And oblivion, Oblivion, self-care, man. What a song, dude. And then you have Come Back to Earth, Hurt Feelings, Perfecto Voces. I think this was the perfect project to be your final project right before you pass. He does a tiny desk for it. Oh, yeah. What's happening, Charles? He said Mac also started acting and was on an episode on the little known show Single Ladies with Lisa Ray and Stacey Dash. He was on, dang, I remember Single Ladies. It was on VH1. I remember that show. Dang, I forgot he was on. Well, I don't even remember he was on that. I used to watch that show. And I think the show is little known because they didn't have many episodes. But yeah, he was also on the movie with Snoop Dogg and stuff like that. Like Mac did a lot, bro. But this Swimming, bro, perfect song to like end it all and be your last one on Earth. And then he did the Tiny Desk, and right after that, man, bro passed away like a few days later. And it was really sad when I found out. Yeah, Flip, RIP. I found out I was at work in Alabama, and I was like, Mac Miller died. And then the people was like, oh man. But they weren't like real big Mac Miller fans. First thing I listened to was Faces, and I was like, oh, I was about to cry in the office, man. Mac Miller, dog. It's a good dude. That one really hit home for me. I ain't gonna lie. Like as a celebrity, I think his hit home. Black Panthers, his hit home. And I wasn't a Chadwick Boseman. I won't even know. But I think it was the fact of everything that was going on at the time. It was 2020, the pandemic and all that. That stuff was, boy, that was just a time. Like, so that Chadwick Boseman was like a combination of everything that was going on. Drugs, it's taking a lot of people from here, 100%. 100%. Like, you got to tell your people you love them and stop them from doing drugs at the beginning. Because everybody can't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think you want to figure out who can handle drugs and who can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you even want to, like, why even risk it, in my opinion. But I guess that's like more of a controversial opinion. So, yes, rest in peace, Mac Miller, man, for sure. We are just some kids. With that being said, next thing next, man. Next thing next. I'm going to talk.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother. Front lit.
What's up,
in it,
Rashad?
yeah.
What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.